Hey you wonderful parents and parents-to-be from around the world, and welcome to another video. Now in this one we're going to be doing a quick and simple overview of reusable cloth nappies, so by the end of the video you should know all you need to know about them. The brand that we're going to be using for demo purposes in this video is called Fia, and it's a UK brand that we do use here at home. Now don't worry though, if you're looking at other brands of nappies, we've got you covered, as generally speaking they all kind of work the same way. I also want to point out before we get into this video that this is in no way sponsored, and all of our nappies have been bought ourselves to use with our own little one. Now that's all out of the way, let's get straight into the video. So what are cloth nappies? Well, it's kind of as described, to be honest. You've got standard disposable nappies, which are like this and the most commonly used, and you've got cloth nappies more like this, and they're made of reusable and washable materials. Now back in the day when I was a baby, my parents used to use cloth nappies on me, and they looked a little bit like this. Now basically they were just a towel that was folded around the baby and then pinned with safety pins. Well listen, if that's your view of a cloth nappy, then hey, it's not the case anymore whatsoever. Nowadays cloth nappies can be some stunning pieces of art wrapped around a baby's bottom, and better than that, they can also be cleaned so easily, and they're so much more absorbent than the olden days. Cloth nappies are becoming more and more popular nowadays because of the growing ideal of long-term sustainability, and due to the fact that they have much less impact on the environment than standard disposable nappies. Not only that, but once you get some in your hands and really feel them, you'll notice that they're so soft and comfortable compared to disposables for baby's bum. Anyway, moving on, let's take a look at a cloth nappy in a little more detail. So what we have here is a standard pocket style cloth nappy from the brand called Fia, and like I mentioned, this is a UK brand, and this is why we use them as well, because it's a little bit less in terms of transportation costs, and they're produced here in the United Kingdom where we live. So the cloth nappy in general has a lovely, beautiful patterned outside section which is waterproof, and it has a waterproof material on it, and then it has a bunch of buttons here which are for sizing for the baby, and then it has these buttons here on top as well, and these buttons on top are for fastening and tightening around the baby as well. Around the leg section you've got a nice elastic band section here, and this elastic band is basically just to help keep a nice seal so poop and pee doesn't leak through, and there is some also some elastic here around the waist area as well. Now opening the cloth nappy up, unfastening the poppers. On the inside you've got a lovely soft cloth material, and this cloth material is really beautiful to feel. It's lovely on the baby's bum. And within this as well is the pocket, and that's why it's called a pocket style nappy. And inside the pockets are what we have here is bamboo inserts, and these are the absorbent layers, and these are what absorb and catch the waste basically. If it's poop, the waste is caught in here and you have to throw it away or clean it. If it's wee, it goes through there, is absorbed through these, and after a while these need to be cleaned as well. But that's basically the simplicities of a cloth nappy in general. Now there is an abundance of choice nowadays when it comes to cloth nappies, not only in design but also the type of nappy as well. The one that we have here from Fia, as I showed you before, is a pocket style nappy because it basically has a pocket for the absorbent layers to slide into. Other types of cloth nappies include all-in-ones, all-in-twos, fitted, pre-fold and flat. They all work in more or less the same way, as they're all nappies, but they just basically assemble slightly differently. And hey, if you want me to do a video on the different types of nappy, then just leave me a message in the comment section below to let me know. Now the inserts of cloth nappies are the parts that are used to absorb baby waste, and they're super efficient at doing that, although some more than others. Now the types of inserts you can tend to quite easily get are microfiber, bamboo and charcoal mix, cotton and hemp. They all have some different pros and cons, some absorbing more than others but at a slower pace, and some absorbing not so much as others but with a much higher absorption rate. Now just to mention as well that if you are trying to be super anti-plastic, then be aware that most microfiber inserts, if not all, have some form of plastics in them, usually in the form of microplastics. Also, if you're looking to buy bamboo or hemp inserts, some of them can have plastics in them as well, so just be sure to have a good read about what you're buying. Generally speaking, if there's no plastics at all in the product, they are advertised as plastic free. Now, we love cloth nappies here at home, but that's not to say that they're absolutely perfect, because let's be honest, nothing is. So let's just have a quick look at some pros and cons when compared to disposables. Hey, thank you so much for sticking with me so far. Before we get into the pros and cons of cloth nappies, I wanted to just say that if you're enjoying this content, I'd love it so much if you could kindly tap the thumbs up icon. It really does help me out by letting me know that I'm doing things right and giving you guys good, helpful information. But hey, if there's something I'm not doing to a good standard, then don't hesitate to tap that thumbs down button button as well, but could I just ask that if you do, then please leave me a comment below or let me know why, and I could try to improve. Finally, if you want to be notified when I release videos in the future, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel? I'm all about parenting and getting the most out of yourself, so it'd be great to have you on the journey. Anyway, thanks for listening, and let's get into the pros and cons. So the biggest pro, as I'm sure you'd agree, with cloth nappies are that they're reusable and they are so much better for the environment. Now, quick fire fact, did you know that it takes over 1,500 litres of crude oil to produce enough nappies for one child from birth to 2.5 years? And not only that, it takes 10 times more water to produce disposable nappies than the water that you'd use to wash reusables. And let's not even get into the fact that nappies account for about 2% of all landfill waste. In America alone, that's about 400,000 tons a year. Ouch. Reusable cloth nappies are much cheaper in the long run than disposables, yet the initial outlay is a little bit higher, and we'll touch on this later in a moment. Next thing is they look incredible. Some of the funky designs you can get with cloth nappies are simply gorgeous. I'd much rather have my little one totting around in snazzy patterned cloth nappies than, soggy, saggy disposables, but hey, that's just me. Also, the soft inner lining of a cloth nappy is so nice to the touch and is profoundly more comfortable on baby's bottom than the disposable counterparts. Finally, some research does suggest that hip placement can be better in cloth nappies, than a disposable, but take that with a pinch of salt because I can't verify that myself. That's all the good stuff. So what about the cons? So the bad things are cloth nappies can be a bit fiddly to put on compared to a disposable, but that being said, once you've done it a few times, you do get used to it and it really does become very straightforward. Now, the initial cost of cloth nappies is high. Now, let's not mess around here. So for established brands, you could be looking at between £12 to £16 per nappy, and you'll probably need at least 20 or so to start off with. But once you've purchased them, that's it. When you compare it to the long-term cost of disposables and how often you have to buy them, it doesn't even compare. They do need cleaning as well, so you can expect to be doing more washing. My suggestion would be that you get into a routine that works for you. For example, before we go to bed, we put the nappies on a rinse, which takes all of about 8 minutes or so, and then we put them on a timed wash to finish in the morning. You do this every night and it just becomes second nature. And now the big one, you will have to be a bit more present when it comes to your baby's waste. Especially becomes a little bit more intense, should I say, as they get older and move on to solid foods. But hey, listen, it's your baby, and I'm sure you can deal with a little bit of poop. And that's it. If there's anything else you'd want to ask about cloth nappies, I'm here to answer questions in the comments. Or if you want to know more, you can always follow me on other socials, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's the same username for every platform, @ThePlainParent. In another video, I'll be going through how to size, fit, and remove cloth nappies. And then another one also will be about washing your nappies and keeping them stain free. So that's it for this one. I hope you have found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!